So we are on 1.11, converting units. We've already done some of this in previous units. Now we're just having like a specific section to kind of iron out any issues, any problems, any questions that you have about converting units. The book goes with the hard, long way, in my opinion, first, and then shows you the easier way at the end. So bear with me as we go through this. It gets brutal before it gets better. So for this first one, a cell phone carrier offers a family plan that includes 10 gigabytes of data to be shared on 4 lines for $100 a month. If the family goes over the 10 gigabyte limit, they are charged 2.5 cents per megabyte. If last month the family used 10.5 gigabytes of data, would they have been better off with a plan for 12 gigabytes for $110 a month? So in this, we are either going with a 10 gigabyte plan or a 12 gigabyte plan. Okay, the family's currently on 10 gigabytes, but they went over by half a gigabyte, and each megabyte that they go over is 2.5 cents. So we can't compare these two because, well, megabytes is not gigabytes. We need to know how many megabytes are in 1 gigabyte. So if you Googled that, like I did, you found that 1 gigabyte is 1,024 megabytes. Okay, and if that totally confuses you, you're not alone. I am not a big fan of megabytes and gigabytes and all that. Totally confuses me. But let's just try to stick with the straight math here. So the family used 10.5 gigabytes. So they went over by 0.5 gigabytes. And hopefully you know that that's half a gigabyte. Okay, so 0.5 gigabytes, half a gigabyte, is going to be equal to half of this megabyte. So I'm going to divide that in 2, and I get 512 megabytes. Okay, so that's how much they went over. Now we're going to go to this right here, 2.5 cents for each megabyte over, and they went over by 512. So they're charged 2.5 cents per megabyte, and they went over 512 megabytes. Okay, so we're going to multiply that, and we get $12.80 in overage charges. I'm just going to label it so I don't get confused later when I'm trying to explain. So their bill currently for 10 gigabytes is $100 a month, and then they went over by the half a gigabyte, so we're going to add on this $12.80. So $100 is their bill, and then we're going to add on those overage charges, and our total bill for those 10.5 gigabytes is $112.80. So would they be better off with a plan for 12 gigabytes for $110 a month? I would say yes. They're saving $2.80, and yes, $2.80 probably isn't very much. But this was just for half a gigabyte. The 12 gigabytes is giving you 2 more gigabytes. So they have a little bit more flexibility in their plan and how much data they can use each month, which is kind of nice and reassuring. What's our next one? So one way to do conversions is to understand the relationship between the part and the whole. which I feel like is a huge theme in this out of all of math, okay? So this 0.62 miles is equal to 1 kilometer, which is less than a mile. So this whole box is 1 mile, and a kilometer is just one little part of the mile. It's 0.62 miles. So you can draw a picture to decide whether to divide or multiply. Are you going bigger or are you going smaller? If you're confused by this method, let's check out example number 3. I like example number 3 a lot more. These are the condensed steps for this first example right here, of whether or not to go up or down, determining dividing or multiplying. Here is a conversions chart. If we were in person, I would have this on just like a cheat sheet for you to refer back to for your test. You are by no means expected to memorize all of this. Since we're remote, you can just look these conversions up online. If you want me to send you the answer, or not answer sheet, the formula cheat sheet on a PDF, just so it's all handy in one place and you don't have to look it up, that's totally fine too. So question number 2, if you are 5'6", are you 5.6 feet tall? And then they kind of give you a hint, how tall are you in inches? So we're going to convert both of these into inches so we can see how, if they are in fact the same. So 5 feet, this is, or let me change colors because it's kind of blending in here. Okay, 5 feet, and this is 6 inches. Okay, so 5 feet, and then there's 12 inches in a foot, so 5 feet is 60 inches. And then we're going to add on those 6 inches that were left. So we are 66 inches tall. If you're 5'6", you are 66 inches tall. Now we're going to do the same thing for the 5.6 feet tall. So, no, actually, if 12 inches are in 1 foot, then then 6 inches is in 0.5 feet. Okay, I just divided both of those in half. So this 5.6, or 5 feet 6 inches is what? If we were to write it as a decimal, it's going to be 5, and the 6 inches is half a foot. So I'm going to write 5.5 feet. You're 5.5 feet tall. So no, these two heights are not the same. The 5.6 is slightly taller than 5.5 feet. For number 3, I'm going to change colors. If you are going to a movie that is 189 minutes long, your friend is seeing a movie that starts at the same time but is 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Who will be finished first and by how many minutes? So your movie that you want to see is 189 minutes, and your friend, their movie is 2 hours, which let's convert that to minutes because my movie is in minutes, and I personally think it's a lot easier to go down to minutes than to have a decimal of hours. So I'm going to convert this down to minutes. There's 60 minutes in each hour, so 60 times 2 for 2 hours is going to give me 120 minutes, plus the 2 hours, 10 minutes. So I'm going to go plus 10 minutes. So my friend's movie is 130 minutes in total. Remember, they started at the same time. So who's going to be done first? Well, my friend's movie is going to finish first. And by how long? So my movie is 189 minutes. Their movie is 130 minutes. So my friend's movie ends 59 minutes sooner. So friend's movie ends 59 minutes before mine. So almost an hour. I definitely don't recommend doing this plan because your friend's going to be waiting for an hour while your movie finishes. Example number 2 here, converting milliliters into liters. So there's no conversion that's been given to us relating millimeters to meters. So we need to first convert millimeters to centimeters, and then from centimeters to meters. So convert 4,650 milliliters to liters. So milliliters is smaller than liters. So I have 4,650. I'm going to label milliliters and go up here. Milliliters. There's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So it takes 1,000 tiny little milliliters to equal 1 liter. So I'm going to divide by 1,000 to get to liters. So when I divide that, I get 4.65 liters. Convert 5 kilograms to grams and then to milligrams. So I've got 5 kilograms and I'm going to grams. So let's see, right here, there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So kilogram is bigger. So we're going from something bigger to something smaller. So I need to multiply by 1,000. So I get 5,000 grams. And then from grams, I'm going to milligrams. So grams to milligrams, there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So a gram is bigger. So we're going to multiply by 1,000 again to get to milligrams. And that will equal 5 million milligrams. And our last one, these are definitely not my favorite ways to do conversions. But just go with it. Okay, convert 500 milligrams per hour to milligrams per day and then to grams per day. So I'm going to set this up as like a fraction because that's how it's kind of written. 500 milligrams in 1 hour. And there are 24 hours in a day. So we're going to times by 24. And we get 12,000 milligrams. 500 times 24 is 12,000. 12,000 milligrams per 1 day. And then from milligrams to grams, milligrams is smaller than grams. So we have to divide by 1,000 and we'll get 12 grams per day. Okay, and like I said, these are not my favorite types of conversions to do. I think example number 3 is so much easier. It makes a lot more sense to me. You can do either way It does not matter to me, but you can read through this example here. And a lot of it is being able to cancel out your units, leaving what you want behind. So doses on top divided by doses on the bottom, they're going to cancel out and just leave the milligrams. If we have, same thing, pounds cancel out, leaving kilograms. Nothing cancels out here, so we're going to leave milligrams per kilogram. We're going to leave it as a fraction there. So the last one we have is number 5. I think number 5 is probably the easier one of them all, just because this is the way I like to do it. So we need to convert 2.5 miles to yards by changing the miles to feet and then the feet to yards. So we have 2.5 miles. And there are 5,280 feet per mile. So I'm going to go times 5,280 feet per 1 mile. And my miles are going to cancel out because there's one on top and one on the bottom. And then you can either solve it like this and just get how many feet you have, or you can tack on, or I guess I'll solve it that way and then I'll show you the other way. So 2.5 times 5,280 gives you 13,200 feet. So we have feet and we need to go to yards. So there are 3 feet. Oh, I need feet on the bottom. 3 feet so that they cancel out, and then yard will go on top. So then feet cancel, and I'm left with my unit yard. So 13,200 divided by 3 gives me 4,400. And my unit is yards because that's what's left. If you didn't want to break that up, you can do it all in one swift motion here. You can have 2.5 miles times 5,280 feet per mile, and then we need feet to yards, and there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And then I would just recommend canceling out your units to make sure that you're left with what you want. So we're going from miles to yards, so I want yards left. So mile on top, mile on bottom, feet on top, feet on bottom. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. And I'm left with just yards. So I would do the 2.5 times 5,280 divided by 3 into my calculator, and I'll get the same exact answer. I'll get the 4,400 yards. And that is it. Go ahead and start your homework problems. Let me know if you need any help.